Do you have a bad dog or a naughty dog or a dog who displays bad behavior, inappropriate behavior? Then this one is for you because I would like to challenge you to maybe rethink your own thinking or rethink the labels you put on your dog. For the past 6 years, I worked in leadership development and we used a tool called Hogan assessments where we would assess a person's personality and then we would not label them as good or bad or whatever, but we would look for what personality traits does a person show, what behavior could be stretched, so what behavior could we adjust, but also which behavior comes naturally to them and which doesn't, and what are their preferences. We would then match the role or the people to a certain role. So we would basically check in which environment a person would be striving most, in which environment a person would be best suitable. And kind of the same is true for dogs. So if a dog is showing behavior, is it really bad behavior? Is it just dog behavior that would not be appropriate in our context? So we would label it as inappropriate or as bad. However, is it really bad for the dog? So let's do a quick mind game, right? One of my dogs is a street dog. So for him, being in a street environment, being pessimistic, is highly relevant, is highly appropriate, and is even necessary for his survival. So over generations, the dogs who have been the most pessimistic, who have been the most scared of other people, who have had stranger danger, who would be cautious, who would rather run away, who would maybe even fight, would be the ones who were most likely to survive compared to the ones who might be too friendly and who might got shot, who might got kicked, or who might got killed. So why they had to kind of like stay close in order to find food, to find water in the desert, etc. However, being pessimistic did pay off over generations versus being too optimistic. Fast forward, bringing him to London. Is being that pessimistic that great? Well, stranger danger can be really, really tough for us here to manage because we live in a place, we are not living super central anymore. We moved away before he arrived. But there is still loads of people. We don't bring him to tourist hotspots, but still there's quite a lot of people. We don't live anywhere in a rural suburb or wherever. We live in a city. So there are people, there is traffic, etc. So for him, the situation has changed. The context has changed, the environment has changed. He's suddenly out of his depth. So for him, the behavior he has learned, being pessimistic or that is inherent, this is the personality he has. He kind of is a pessimist, right? So for him, this might be really tough. However, on another hand, climbing onto things, climbing up, checking a bin, etc., where loads of purebred dogs might be challenged or might be, oh my god, what is happening in there? I can't get even near a trash bin. Might be difficult for them, easy peasy for my dog. So the skill set the dog has, the skill set the dog brought, might be not necessarily appropriate or the right skill set for the situation we put our dogs in. We ask a lot for our dogs when we bring them into a new place. Chalky did not ask for me to bring him over from the Middle East to the UK, but I did, and he's happy he is living his life. However, this also means for me that I need to understand where he's coming from. So what does this dog has to deal with? To just tell my dog, oh, you're naughty, this is a bad boy, is not going to cut it, is it? So rather than changing the dog's behavior in the situation where he's most likely just terrified, I try not to bring him into situations that scare him. So we are generally not training in situations where the dog would be with a trigger. So in our case, this would be other people, strangers, but it could be whatever it is for your dog. If you have a reactive dog, chances are that they might be triggered by people or by other dogs. So it's kind of like similar. But we would rather train for the situation. So we would try to grow his optimism outside of the situation so he can just learn to trust, he can just learn to maybe be a bit more optimistic but in a positive way. And I would like you to think about what kind of situations do you put your dog in where you expect them to function, where they might not function, and to really dig deeper and understand why are they not functioning, what is behind it. Generally, we are not deciding which situation is scary for our dogs, but our dogs do. So even if you think this should not be an issue, but it clearly might be an issue for your dog, then to really try to understand what is happening, where is this coming from. If you're interested in street dogs, I filmed a video about the 7 things I wish I knew before adopting a street dog, and I will link it just up here so you can keep watching if you like. Spoiler alert, I really do love street dogs and I adopted a second one. If you want to meet the newest addition to our family who will arrive later on this year, then please feel free to watch the video about Panda's arrival. I will see you next time. Bye.